County Courthouse steps, 9 a.m. The gavel cracks like a thunderclap, and Elaine Carver screams, "This is theft," as I bid $350,000 for her prized community pavilion. 3 years ago, this same woman tried to hit me with a $20,000 fine for my Grey Tunkles fishing pier, built in 1948, claiming my family's World War II-era cabin didn't fit her upscale vision. I'm Jack Thompson, a 54-year-old retired welder, and Elaine, the HOA queen of Willow Creek with her manicured nails and fake smile, had no idea her crusade against me would collapse when I discovered I legally owned her entire lakefront lot, including her precious boat dock. What would you do if your HOA tried to steal your family's legacy? Drop your wildest HOA story below and tell me where you're watching from, because this takedown is a masterclass in justice. My great-uncle Frank built our Willow Creek cabin in 1948, fresh off surviving Normandy, hammering every oak beam, slate tile, and rivet in the pier. Himself, the air still thick with the scent of aged wood, lake breeze, and decades of campfire smoke. I inherited it after a divorce that gutted my savings, leaving me, at 54, piecing my life back. Together in the same place, I learned to cast a fishing line as a kid, the pier weathered but unyielding through 49 winters. As a union welder, I'd dealt with power-hungry foremen for 3 decades. So I thought I could handle anything. Until Elaine Carver rolled up in her silver Mercedes SUV, tennis skirt worth my pension, nails clicking on a clipboard like a ticking bomb. Elaine, 46, married to a venture capitalist, had moved to Willow Creek 4 years ago, determined to turn our quiet lake into her personal empire. Her tires crunched my gravel drive, spiking my blood pressure. "Good morning," she chirped, flashing a realtor's smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I'm Elaine Carver, Willow Creek HOA president. This is Mark Reynolds, our treasurer." Mark, a spineless corporate drone, clutched papers like a shield. "Nice place," I said, staying in my porch rocker. "Coffee's hot." Elaine's smile twitched. She wasn't used to folks not bowing. "We're here on business. Your pier violates our new aesthetic code." I glanced at Frank's pier, solid as ever. "That pier's been here since Truman. It's grandfathered." Her voice sharpened. "We're elevating property values. Your pier needs a modern overhaul, or you'll face a $20,000 compliance fee." I nearly spat my coffee. "Lady, my cabin was here before your neighborhood was a cow pasture." She handed me a violation notice with a 30-day deadline and left, her floral perfume lingering like a bad omen, clashing with the lake's pine scent. I called my union buddy Tom, a paralegal hobbyist. "Bring every document," he said. "This stinks." 2 days later, Tom was at my kitchen table, grinning over a stack of papers. "Jack, your property predates their HOA by 40 years. It's exempt." Knowledge nugget. Check your deed's recording date against the HOA's incorporation. Older properties often have ironclad exemptions. I sent Elaine a polite, firm letter stating my legal stance, thinking that it ended. She didn't take it well. 3 days later, county code enforcement showed up for a random inspection. Pete, the inspector, mid-50s with a no-nonsense handshake, accepted my coffee and flipped. Through Frank's were photos. "My dad was at Iwo Jima," Pete said, admiring the album. "My septic, checked 6 months ago for the divorce, was flawless." Pete let slip. This complaint came through odd channels, pushed by someone with connections. Knowledge nugget. HOA government communications are public record. File Freedom of Information Act requests to see them. My $12 FOIA request uncovered 19 emails between Elaine and her cousin in code enforcement, targeting lakefront properties to force compliance. Pete mentioned 3 other homeowners got similar, random inspections. I called Margaret Ellis, a 76-year-old retired librarian who'd lived on the lake 17 years. Elaine had cited her rose garden as a vegetation nuisance. Over coffee, Margaret showed me her survey. "Stakes, moved by someone overnight." "My roses," she fumed. Her FOIA emails revealed Elaine writing, "These old-timers don't get progress." Elaine was targeting elderly residents, betting they wouldn't fight back. Margaret, sharp as ever, had kept every notice, every letter, a librarian's archive. We started coffee meetings at my cabin, the scent of cedar and pie filling the air as neighbors shared Elaine's stories. Henry Walsh, a retired Navy officer, joined us, his maritime law expertise confirming my peer's federal riparian rights predated the HOA. Elaine's lawyer would have known this if she'd done her homework. Our meetings grew, with Lydia Chun, a quiet accountant, analyzing HOA finances. Elaine went berserk when she sensed resistance, serving me a lawsuit during my July 4th barbecue. Burgers burning as a process server shoved papers at me, claiming my peer was a navigation hazard. Neighbors like Lydia rallied, her saying, "This is legal bullying." Tom brought research from Cleveland. Elaine had 2 ethics violations on her realtor license for misrepresenting boundaries. The bombshell? The Willow Creek developer went bankrupt 3 years ago, leaving $360,000 in unpaid environmental fees. Knowledge nugget. County lien searches, $5 to $15, reveal hidden debts. Henry confirmed the HOA never legally owned the pavilion, dock, or beach, still county property due to the bankruptcy. Elaine was running a sham. We filed a countersuit for harassment, my digital recorder, legal in Ohio, capturing every interaction. At a Labor Day block party, Elaine showed up drunk, sloshing wine, yelling, "This is my lake." My recorder caught her slurring, "I'll ruin you, Jack." Margaret shut her down. "You're embarrassing yourself." Mark Reynolds escorted her away, her meltdown witnessed by 50 neighbors. A week later, an anonymous EPA tip claimed my cabin polluted the lake. Inspector Clara Nguyen tested my water, finding it pristine. "The real issue's the HOA's over-fertilized lawns," she said, noting phosphate levels 400% above safe limits. Knowledge nugget. Private environmental tests, $2,000, can debunk false claims. Lydia found $92,000 in landscaping payments to Elaine's husband's firm. No bids, no transparency. Margaret discovered Elaine never held proper HOA elections, serving illegally. The local paper, Lake Herald, ran, "HOA president accused of fraud," exposing Elaine's license review. Social media erupted with hashtag Willow Creek scandal, neighbors sharing horror stories. Elaine's lawsuit faltered, her $600 an hour lawyer botched filings, missing deadlines. My countersuit gained traction, bolstered by Clara's EPA findings. Then Lydia dropped a bombshell. The HOA's incorporation papers were flawed. The pavilion, dock, and beach were never deeded, sitting in county limbo with $130,000 in unpaid taxes. Knowledge nugget. Verify HOA asset ownership. Incorporation doesn't guarantee control. Henry confirmed this with maritime law, and Margaret dug up bankruptcy filings, yellowed papers crackling in the courthouse basement. I learned the county's tax lien auction could let me buy the HOA's assets for back taxes. With $370,000 from my inheritance, I could own Elaine's kingdom. Union values stopped me from ambushing her. I wanted the community to know. At an HOA meeting, I planned to reveal our findings, but Elaine kept escalating, caught on my night vision cameras cutting my peers' ropes at 2 a.m. Knowledge nugget. Security cameras are legal and essential. Deputy Wilson filed a vandalism report, the video going viral on Willow Creek's Facebook group. Elaine tried bribing me at the marina, my recorder catching her offering $60,000 to move away. "You don't belong with us," she sneered. "Bribery's a federal crime. Game over." Sarah Blake, our pro bono environmental lawyer, filed state and federal complaints against the HOA's pollution. Lydia calculated auction costs, $130,000 taxes, $20,000 fees, $90,000 legal, $240,000 for $2.5 million in property. Knowledge nugget. Tax lien certificates in Ohio earn 18% interest if unredeemed. Margaret's Lake Preservation Committee rallied 60 neighbors, our fundraiser hitting $15,000. Henry documented 49 years of my family's lake stewardship. Elaine's last move, a restraining order, crashed when the judge saw our evidence. Her lawyer quit over unpaid bills, leaving her to represent herself. The auction loomed, Elaine clueless, still pushing her failing lawsuit. My team, Tom, Margaret, Henry, Lydia, Sarah, was a machine, papers covering my cabin's table, the scent of coffee and resolve thick. Elaine hired a PI, Henry's old Navy buddy, who tipped us off. Her smear campaign, flyers calling me a dangerous vet, backfired. I never served, Frank did. Margaret traced the flyers to Elaine's realtor office. The EPA fined the HOA $2.5 million for stormwater violations. Homeowners furious as values tanked. Elaine's emergency meeting saw a mark and the board resign, neighbors voting no confidence. She refused to step down, screaming about legitimacy. Auction day 9:00 a.m., courthouse steps. Dew clung to the lawn as I stood with Tom, my $350,000 check ready. Elaine's BMW screeched in, her tennis skirt flapping as she yelled, "This is illegal." The clerk explained tax liens calmly. For bidders, me, Elaine's LLC, a developer, and a conservation group. Bidding hit $280,000. Then I dropped $350,000. Silence. Elaine's husband whispered they were tapped out. The gavel cracked, sold. Elaine wailed, collapsing as news cameras rolled. Sarah Blake thrust a mic at me. I just bought my neighbor's pavilion. They're my tenants now. Deputies restrained. Elaine as she lunged, her threats drowned by cheers. I own the pavilion, dock, beach, every HOA contract mine to void or enforce. Knowledge nugget. Tax lien winners get clear title. Trumping all claims. The sheriff served Elaine an eviction notice for unpaid dues, mirroring her $20,000 demand. 6 months later, Willow Creek thrives. I rent the pavilion for $50 to families. $25 to seniors, kids' laughter echoing again. Margaret won the HOA presidency with 90% of the vote, enforcing transparency and environmental fixes. Elaine lost her license, faced fraud charges, sold her house, and moved to a condo 20 miles away. A $60,000 EPA grant restored wetlands, water quality up 45%, osprey nesting again. Lydia and I started dating, her spicy chili warming hour. Community dinners. The Frank Thompson Scholarship, funded with $30,000 from my countersuit, awards $3,000 yearly to trade school students. My YouTube channel, Lake Rights Now, has 60,000 subscribers. Teaching HOA resistance. Margaret's book, Beating HOA Tyrants, is a bestseller. Henry consults on lakefront law, Lydia audits HOA books, and 3 local disputes settled using our playbook. Elaine works at Henry's friend's hardware store, quiet and professional. We nod in town, no drama. The county wants me to run for commissioner on property rights. Sitting on my pier at sunset. Frank's flag flying, loons calling across clean water. I've built something better than Elaine's tyranny. Was exposing her publicly worth it? Or should I have settled quietly? Did our win harm innocence, or was justice served? Share your take on bullies, community, and when the fight goes too far. Craziest HOA stories welcome.